Why should you rotate exercises? Can't you do the same bench press with the same grip, with the same rep range for the rest of your life? Yes. Theoretically, you could, but you would run into some issues.
No, I don't think I will.
The first reason why you should rotate your exercises is to maximize muscle growth, and the second reason is to prevent injuries. You cannot do the same exercise with the same rep range, with the same tempo for the rest of your life without snapping your shit up. It doesn't mean that you should hop from exercise to exercise, that you should change the way you execute that exercise all the time, or modify your rep range every single time you step a foot into the gym. But you need to change your stimulus and the way you execute an exercise, or maybe change it for another, if you want to avoid overuse injuries, which occurs when you execute an exercise forever without rotating it for another variation. When it comes to maximizing your muscle growth through rotating exercises, it is not that rotating exercise out for another will shock the muscle, like Arnold used to say.
You got to shock the muscle.
But it can induce a new stimulus, which can help you break through a plateau in a specific movement pattern or for a muscle overall. Despite that, the biggest factor that rotating exercises affects muscle growth in the long term is that if you don't get injured, it is much more likely that you will get jacked as fuck in the long term. Let's say you have a twin brother, the both of you have a perfect program, you have perfect exercise selection, everything is dialed in, your sleep, your nutrition, your stress levels, everything is perfect. Person A, who gets injured all the time, will be much smaller or less jacked as person B, who is grinding in the gym day in and day out for 5, 10, 20, 30 years straight. If you fuck up your shoulder big time from doing the same bench press variation, and it gets hard to recover from that injury, which means that you cannot do any horizontal presses for your chest. That means that you will be greatly limited in your potential for maximum jackedness. If you have a bunch of variations for a specific exercise or a exercise category like a horizontal push or a bench press, you can subject your body to a new stimulus and a new way to execute the movement, which will in return mean that maybe you will correct the weakness that you had before by doing a close grip bench press and getting your triceps stronger, which will help you break to a plateau to a normal bench press or maybe a wide grip bench press, which means that you will get stronger and more jacked when rotating through exercises, going through phases when you focus on one or another movement, instead of doing the same shit every single time. When should you rotate an exercise out? If your progress stalls for 3 to 4 weeks plus on a specific exercise, despite your sleep being dialed in, eating in a surplus, and having stress levels regulated, having optimal volume, frequency, and intensity in your program and workouts, plateauing for that long on a specific exercise is absolutely normal for really advanced lifters who've been training consistently and hard for 10 plus years. But I'm not that advanced yet, and if you're watching this video, you most likely aren't. So if you plateaued that hard, despite all those factors being dialed in, it is time to rotate the exercise out. Second reason is if you get pains and aches in only that specific exercise. For example, me, my favorite bicep exercise is dumbbell incline curls, and I did them for 3+ years, and you can imagine what strain it had on my elbows and my biceps tendon. I just couldn't progress on it at all because of the pain, and I couldn't execute that exercise consistently week by week, which means that maybe I did it one week and the next it hurt like hell, and I did another exercise spontaneously instead of just deciding, okay, I'll rotate this exercise out for a similar one for 3 months and I will get back to my favorite exercise after that. So if you get pain and aches in a specific exercise, just rotate it out for a specific time and you can get back to it, avoid injuries, and get even better progress on that specific movement. The third reason is if you've done the same fucking exercise forever and you cannot see it anymore, hate it so much that you just are not willing to put any effort into it, you just half-ass it and call it a day. If you just want to try a new exercise, say fuck you and rotate it out for that new exercise. But when you rotate an exercise out for this new dopamine rush of trying something new, try to minimize fear of missing out, FOMO, and the shiny object syndrome, jumping from exercise to exercise, not sticking to one. This hyper-optimization and paralysis by analysis will hinder your progress more than an exercise which you got bored of. If you want to support the channel and help me keep making these videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. How can you rotate exercises? There are two factors. First, the exercise itself and your programming. There are two ways you can rotate an exercise out. The first one is rotating it in a specific movement pattern, like say a horizontal push. And the second one is just adding a variation of the same exercise you're already doing. Let's say you have a push workout and the first exercise in that push workout is a horizontal press and you don't care which one it is, then you should rotate an exercise out staying within the same category of exercise. For example, the horizontal push, you could choose a flat barbell bench press, a flat dumbbell bench press, an inclined barbell or a dumbbell bench press, a dip variation, bodyweight, weighted, flat or inclined chest press, or a simple push-up. But let's say you fucking love the barbell bench press and you don't want to change it. You want to get fucking strong at it and perfect the movement. If that first exercise spot in your program is always the barbell bench press, you don't have to rotate that exercise out for a completely different movement like a push-up or a dip, but you can rotate a variation of that exercise. For example, if your main bench press variation is a medium grip, you're the strongest in it, just switch it up to a close grip bench press, a wide grip bench press, a Larsen press, a reverse grip bench press, maybe add a slower eccentric and a longer pause, or if you're lucky and a gym has one, use a specialty bar. You can combine those together. Maybe you do a specialty bar with a closer grip and add a Larsen press. You always have tons of variations within the same exercise, so you can have fun with it and stick with the same exercise you love without rotating out for a completely different exercise. But you may ask yourself, how many exercise rotations options do you need? At the start, I would just suggest you to experiment, try a bunch of shit out, and you will, after a while, see what exercise, what variation, what rotation suits your body best, your joints. Do you feel a pump? Does the stretch or the exercise feel amazing? If the exercise feels fucking great for you, despite what anybody else says, you can save it as one of your main rotations. After you've experimented and became more in tune with your body, you've tried a bunch of shit and know what feels best for your specific body type, try to stick to the few variations that feel the smoothest to you. That could be anywhere from 2 to 5 rotations. That number depends on whether you're breaking your rotations down into a specific exercise like the bench press or a whole category of exercise like the horizontal push. But even if you know what feels best for you and you don't have to try a bunch of shit, always try to stay open-minded and allow yourself to try new things. So when it comes to the programming itself, there are 2 ways you can rotate an exercise out. First one is pre-planning it, and the second one is auto-regulation. Pre-planning is for people who want their training to be more structured. If you use mesocycles and shit like that, if you periodize your training, then you can just rotate your exercises in every single mesocycle or block, which takes anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks. This way you can be sure that you will be making long-term progress, that you will avoid any kind of obvious injuries because you're always rotating shit out and in. If you are a structured person, pre-planning your rotations is for you. But I'm not. I auto-regulate my shit. Auto-regulation is more loose, it is more intuitive. When auto-regulating, you're just listening to your body, seeing how it feels during the training, after the training. How does your joints feel? How does the muscle feel? Are you pumped? Do you have pain and aches while performing that specific exercise or not? If you have and you cannot progress on it for the life of it, or you just want to try new shit, you can just rotate that exercise out. Rotating exercises to prevent injuries and to maximize muscle growth or to try something new is amazing and beneficial, but don't you dare to exercise up. I've been guilty of this myself. I always see new exercises, new optimal shit, and think to myself, this is groundbreaking, this will build tons of muscle on my frame, this is the special fix that I need, but it is not. Don't let rotating exercise and exercise hopping inflate your ego. What you need to know is that you will get newbie gains when you do a new exercise, because you're getting more proficient at it from week to week. You're ingraining the movement pattern into your mind and your muscles, which means that you will add 3 reps in a single week or add 5 kilos from week to week. When before trying that new exercise, your shit was stale as fuck. You didn't progress at all. You didn't add any reps or weight. But those newbie gains are just newbie gains. Your new exercise will also get stale and you will not progress on it after like 3 weeks. If other factors are not dialed in, like again, your sleep, your nutrition, your stress regulation, having the right amount of intensity, volume and frequency. If you have not got your shit dialed in, to maximize your muscle growth, rotating exercise in and out all the fucking time, exercise hopping will not give you new gains and shock the muscles, but it will hinder your progress big time. Every single time I just stick to a fucking movement, I said, okay, I don't care how fucking long it takes to get strong at it. I will grind for every single rep. I will grind for every single weight jump. I just stick to the shit that is effective. I made the biggest progress and had visual change from month to month, even though I've been training for 5 years. Mastering a movement and getting the most out of it from rep to rep, from set to set and week to week takes a long time, and you need to trust the journey. No matter how slow the progress feels, just stick with it. That is why you should just have a few variations and not try shit out every single week. You can, again, try and experiment, but don't overdo it. When just having a few variations, you are familiar with it. Even if you go back to it after like 3 to 6 months, you haven't done it at all, you'll perfect a movement pattern in a week and you'll make real progress instead of just getting newbie gains. Doing the same basic shit over and over again every single time you step into the gym can get boring and monotonous, but only if you let it be. Instead of getting a spark of excitement, that dopamine rush from exercise hopping and changing your shit all the fucking time, try to get that excitement from progressing on your main lifts, on your main variations, and getting strong as fuck on it. PRing every single week, adding just 1 rep will go a fucking long mile if you do it for long periods of time. If you manage to just add 1 rep every single week within a single year, you will add 52 reps. How the fuck does adding 52 reps to a specific exercise not mean that you are making progress? Of course, you want to do 52 reps of an exercise, you will add weight, but you cannot add weight without adding reps. So try to get strong as fuck for reps, adding rep PRs, weight PRs every single week. Try to do your best, train harder than last time, and you will get bigger than hopping from exercise to exercise. But again, I was just talking about exercise hopping. Doing a new exercise every single week, rotating exercises out is still important and beneficial. If this video helped you in any shape or form, make sure to watch another right here. See ya!